So a short time ago, I did a selection of 5 depictions of LARP in TV and movies. And when that video was released, a lot of people were suggesting I watch one movie in particular. Well, I can officially say I watched it. I will talk about it. You asked for it. Roll the intro. Greetings, fellow adventurers. Fred here. Welcome to Larp Saga, the show that explores anything and everything live-action role-playing. And TV and movies, these have a history of depicting geek culture as rather cringe. And LARP is no exception. Be it the out-there lore, the costumes, that seem to weird out outsiders. It makes a lot of sense. And while I did dive into depictions of LARP in TV and movies in the past, there were some I didn't get to see at the time, and I made it a point to watch those before I did another one. And with this video, I've finally gotten a chance to watch them, including one movie in particular. So without further preamble, let's dive into it. First on this list we have the film everyone was mentioning in the comments of the first video. And I made a point of holding off on doing a second one until I saw it. And that is Role Models. And quite frankly, I can see why people were saying how good this film is. It had the right blend of stereotypes for the time, enough material that showed LARPing in a better light than was usually portrayed, and a kick-ass finale. However, I love this film for more personal reasons, because the nerdy LARPer kid of the movie, Augie, I see a lot of myself in him when I was his age. I went through a lot of the very similar struggles for a long time, especially with family. But outside of Ant-Man, this has to be my favorite movie featuring Paul Rudd, at least until finally we get to see Ghostbusters Afterlife, and see how he does in that one. And while the humor and comedy are a bit dated, it's still hilarious, but be warned, it's a rated R movie, so be careful who you watch this thing with. Dragon's Den is one version of a reality TV show that has had a lot of versions airing all around the world, where aspiring entrepreneurs can pitch their business ideas to a panel of venture capitalists in hopes of securing an investment. On the Canadian version of the show, referred to as Dragon's Den, and in Season 9, the popular LARP game Underworld made an appearance before the Dragons in order to secure an investment to build a LARP village. While the Dragons were intrigued by the concept, they weren't sold on the profitability of the venture. They did come back in the 11th season of the show for a second go at it, to where they ramped up the theatrics and getting the panel involved in the demonstration, which they seem to have quite a fun time with, and were impressed with the growth of the company since Underworld's first visit. However, two of the dragons were tempted, but there were some things making them say, I'm out. One of which was, I'm going to have to visit a game before I make a decision. And the other three just said they're out immediately. So, is it a bummer that they failed to sway the dragons a second time? Yes, but given how much Underworld has grown since those episodes, I don't really think they need to come back for a third time, because they can do so well on their own. At the halfway point, we have Unicorn City. Now, I was made aware of this movie from an older video of Casa Marie's, aka the Larp Girl. The movie is about an unemployed tabletop gamer named Voss, who is offered a management position at Warlocks of the Beach, an obvious nod to Wizards of the Coast, the company who owns Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. Only if he can prove that he can lead people. And the movie is him essentially putting together a LARP to prove that he can lead people, and mayhem ensues in the process. The movie comes real close to role models and Knights of Badassdom for the funniest of them. If Role Models is an exaggerated depiction of what my teen years were like Unicorn City is an exaggerated depiction of my adult years before I began pursuing YouTube. Bones is a crime drama that ran from 2005 to 2017 on Fox. However, in the show's fourth season, in the 15th episode, it opened with a trio of LARPers entering a drainage pipe, standing in for a dungeon, and discovering the remains of a geek convention model who was killed over a piece of highly coveted fantasy movie memorabilia. While the LARPing isn't the center stage of the episode, it has still depicted LARPing briefly, and it is by far the most dated and cringe stereotypes that is on this list. That I've seen when researching depictions for this episode. The costumes look more like cosplayers from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. However, it was cool to see Dr. Brennan fighting with a two-handed longsword. The LARPs is a web series focusing around the effects of RPGs on real life and vice versa. It was initially released through Geek and Sundry, but was eventually picked up by Amazon Prime. And surprisingly, the first two seasons are still on YouTube, available to watch, with a third one allegedly on the way. What makes this show fun and a good departure from other depictions of LARP is the cast are great at acting, both in and out of character. They switch between the two flawlessly, and the costuming is far more superior to a lot of other depictions of LARP in TV and movies. It's just so good. And it also does a good job at teaching LARP technical terminology, because each episode is named after a specific term in LARP, such as IC for in character, GM for game master, and a lot more. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's going to be in the description below. Overall, LARP has come a long way in media since the days of
Lightning Ball! Lightning Ball! Lightning Ball!
Yeah, that. While there is still some cringe involved in LARP in TV and movies, there is usually enough of a chance to make the LARPer, to give the LARPers their time to shine. That is not cringe. But that will have to do it for this selection of 5 depictions of LARP in TV and movies. Let me know any I should look at in the comments down below. And what you think of these depictions as well. In the meantime, if you're new around here, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you can keep up to date with my content. And if you want to follow me on social media, support the channel, or contact me directly, you can find all that and more in my Linktree page down in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the trail of adventure.